Whiskey friends, far and wide, we are live. It's Tasty Tuesday. What's going on, y'all? I'm Eric, your humble malt muser. It is happy hour time. How's everybody doing? Warming myself up here with a little bit of a sip on a somewhat chillier night here in Chicago. I got a great show lined up for everybody. We're going to talk about a whiskey. I am going to share in a few moments what is going to be in the raffle for the Patreon giveaway that's going to be going on, as I mentioned last week. So with that, let me say hello to everybody first who is here, early bird in the chat. And we will get things rolling. First in the door tonight, it's Mr. Gerbic saying hello to everybody. Happy Tuesday. He is down in Jupiter, Florida. So greetings from Chicago all the way down to Florida. How are you doing, Mr. Gerbic? That great avatar of yours. And here's a friend from Chicagoland, Silver Lock Whiskey Reviews. Happy Tuesday. Good evening, Malt Muser. Good evening, Silverlock. How are things in Chicagoland for you? Nice night out, hey? Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Hell of great weather. Going all the way to the West Coast, Northern California. It's Gary. What's up, brother? How you doing, Gary? Great to have you. And we'll go right down the coast to SoCal. It's it's Cohen. Not Moen, it's Cohen. What's up, Cohen? How you doing, brother? Happy Tuesday, man. Just near Moline, Illinois, it's Chris S. What's up? Ontario, Canada, Peter White. How's it going? Got another Canadian friend in the house. It's Loch Ness. How you doing? Great to see you, man. We got 13 folks in already, which is awesome. East Texas, it's Daniel. How you doing, Daniel? Good to see you. Whiskey Nose is in the house. What's up, man? How was that birthday? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Great to have you here. Good to hear it, Gary. Good to hear it. And yeah, appreciate that, man. Hit that thumbs up if you can. That would be great. Goes a long way. Mike Myers in the house, too. What's up, Mike? Queensryche. How you doing? I'm finishing up a really nice dram of a Glencaddam 13 Reawakening. That is what's going to be reviewed, dropping on Friday. So Telix and I did visit this one back in our show, God, February? I'm just getting to the end of this bottle now, and my, do I enjoy it. Really, really nice whiskey. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, beautiful weekend here in Chicago. God, I mean, it was summer again. I spent some good time at the park. Was down a little bit with a cold, but got the opportunity to get out a little bit, man. I'm glad to hear you made the most of it. Cohen, same Rams. Oh, you think so, huh? We'll see about that. Did you see what we did to those poor 49ers, man? I don't know. Everybody saying hi. Pittsburgh. What's up, man? Whiskey Ace is in the house, man. Great to see you. All right. Okay, you guys. So tonight I'm going to be talking about 15-year-old discontinued Glengoyne and, discontinued whiskeys in general. But first, as I mentioned to everybody last week, it's been about 6 months since I've done a raffle for Patreon supporters. So I'm going to drop the Patreon link in the chat and then just give you all a little sense of what I'm talking about. So basically this is the way it works. If you join and support the channel on Patreon, you will be in the raffle, which I will announce the winners of next week towards the end of the show. 3 folks will win. Basically, I would take everybody who supports on Patreon, put them in a randomizer, and the first 3 that I pick end up being the winners. And so I'm adding a little bit more to it this time. So for this round, if you end up being picked third, you will be getting a sample of the discontinued Glengoyne 15 along with the Scottie Pippen Digits Bourbon. If you get second, you'll get the Glengoyne 15, the Digits Bourbon, and a sample of the new Laphroaig Carchis PX Cask Strength. And if you are the number one winner, Glengoyne 15 sample, Digits Bourbon sample, Laphroaig Carchis 2021 PX sample, Balvenie 21 single barrel sample. So all you have to do is join and support the channel on Patreon. The link is in the chat. Literally, you can go for $1 a month if you want to. All of it goes a long way to helping me do the show, and I will actually be, I use that to try and find rare stuff when I can. I'm going to be getting some more equipment here relatively soon, thanks to folks who already support. So if you're into it, just to recap, third place in the raffle. These will be announced next week, just before the end of the happy hour show. Glengoyne 15 Digits Bourbon. Third place, or second place, Glengoyne 15 Digits Bourbon. New Laphroaig Carchis PX Cask Strength. First place, those three, plus a sample of the Balvenie 21-year-old single barrel traditional oak. So feel free to hop on in if you want to be part of this. And again, I want to just take a second to thank everybody who has supported the show so far. It's humbling. I really appreciate it. As some of y'all have seen, the channel recently went over 1,000 subscribers, which is just incredible. I thank you guys so much for getting the word out, sharing it with your friends, and honestly, just for hanging out on Tuesdays and checking out those reviews. I mean, as I always say, I learned as much about whiskey from you guys as you probably do from me. If not, maybe I learn a little bit more from you guys. So really enjoy the community. And this is just a way I like to try to thank folks who support the show on Patreon and go that extra step to chip in. So if you are interested in that, I'll drop the link one more time in the chat and we'll revisit this later. But you can get in on winning some of those samples, which I will mail to you personally. So, okay. With that out of the way, tonight, I am going to be pouring a sample of this bottle. Now, you may be wondering why I'm highlighting a bottle like Glengoyne 15. Well, Glengoyne 15 is a discontinued bottle. So I'd love to hear in the chat to get a nice chat going. What are those discontinued single malts that you are just like, God damn, I really wish they would put this back in a bottle and get it back on the shelf. It was one of my favorite whiskeys. Because the one that we're going to talk about here tonight, this Glengoyne 15, is one of those for me. So I'd love to hear from folks, discontinued bottles that, you've been missing for some time. I do actually have a small list, which I'll happily talk about, but this one is right on top. And I was, well, not on top, but it's close to being on top. And I'll tell you why once we get into sipping it, but I'll just say off the bat, I got really lucky. A couple weeks ago, I went into a shop here. I was on the north side of Chicago, just poking around, and I went into a mom and pop shop, and it was really, really cool. I came across, they had a bottle of Glengoyne 15 sitting there, and I was like, oh, man, I haven't seen one of these in like 2 years. So I grabbed it without hesitation. I also got a older bottling of Highland Park 18 before the Viking stuff. So they had a couple Dusties sitting on the shelf, which was really, really awesome. And so I grabbed both of them, and I was really excited. I didn't think I was ever going to get a chance to get on this Glengoyne 15 again. This was a bottle I had way early in my journey, and I'm excited to share a little bit with you all about it tonight and talk about it. But before we go any further, we got 20 folks in, which is awesome. I am going to just catch up here on the chat, and you know what? I'm going to get this Glengoyne 15 in the glass. All right. Let's see what's going on. Too Slow's in the house. What up? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Tony, King of Prussia. Hope all is well with you too, man. Great to see you. So cool to have you in the house. Highland Park 15 is back and way overpriced with the new white bottle. I saw that. It's like a ceramic bottle. They brought back the Highland Park 15. Speaking of discontinued bottles, I have one of the older ones, actually, somewhere down there. I didn't think it was particularly an amazing whiskey. But yeah, they're bringing it back. I think it's like $100 some now, $110, and it comes in a ceramic bottling. James Morgan over in London. Good evening to you, sir. Great to see you, man. Folks saying hi. Cash on one. Really enjoyed the 12 Glengoyne. Saw the 15 previous can the other day. Looking to pick it up. Great to have you. And yeah, I'm with you on that completely. The Glengoyne 12. I think I reviewed that not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago. Good one. Really good one. Yeah, the 15 definitely one you're going to want to look for. Okay, that's the link. What's up? Is Telex on tonight? Telex is not on tonight. No, he's out of town. Oh man, thank you, Whiskey Ace. Great to see you, man. Awesome to have you in the house. Enjoy that pour. I picked up 7 bottles of rum. Thank you for the inspiration at Cohen. Nice. Yeah, Cohen will point you in the right direction. Would love to hear which ones you got. All right, so here's some of those bottles that folks are talking about. So Silverlock, Quinta Rubin 12. Okay, have you had the 14? I'm assuming if you have, you like the 12 better. Yeah, okay. Indy, Vancouver, what's up? The Frog 18, yeah. Laphroaig 18 is on my list too, for sure. Man, I wish there were more bottles of that available. Although the lore ain't bad. Oh man, Daniel H with the super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. So I'll raise this glass to you. Very generous. Thank you, Daniel. I think you saw the GG15 yesterday. Oh, the Glengoyne. Okay. Yeah, not a bad one to get. Chairman's Reserve, Foursquare 2019 or 2009. I just saw that for $100 at Binny's. I passed on it. I may go back. Who knows? But I was like, damn, $20 increase on the price on that. Jimmy Lag dropping by as Aquavite told me to. Oh, man. Well, cheers, man. Great to have you. Where are you coming from, Jimmy? Feel free to share your city if you're so interested in so. I do like to give folks shout outs when I know where they are. Like our boy here in Pittsburgh. Came across the older label Quarter Cask, I think in mid-90s. Any experience with that? No, but I have one, actually. I have not. I have not opened it yet, but I would grab it. If it looks anything like, where's the one that I have here? Yeah. So this is, if it looks like this, I'd grab it. Older is usually, older releases usually better. If you can grab it, do it. Silverlock. I've had the Glengoyne 10, 15, and 18. None impressed me. Okay. Good reason as any. Yeah, great to have you in the house, Jimmy. Oh, you got the great house. Oh, man. Gary, I can't wait to hear what you think about that. New Kilkerran 12 is out with the new squat bottle. I have not seen that. Really? They changed the bottle. So you like the 15 better than the 4, or the 12 better than the 14? Oh, so you're talking about the Quinta Rubin. I've heard a lot of folks say that. I wish I could have done a side-by-side. I did review both. Unfortunately, I only thought I thought they were kind of about the same. I think I liked the 12 a little bit more, but yeah. Nova Scotia. All right. We got another Canadian in the house. That's awesome, man. Loch Ness is here. Indy is here. Peter White's in the house. Ben Demon Hunter, probably all some of our good Canadian friends. So you are among friends, man. Great to have you, and love that. Yeah, I like his picture too, for sure. That's great. Same bottle. Nice. Yeah, I'd grab it. I mean, if it's under $70, I'd grab it. Okay. All right, so let's talk Glengoyne. That's not the Glengoyne. That's the Glencaddle. So here's the deal. Glengoyne is it's considered a Highland distillery. And if you are a believer in all the regional stuff, it's the most un-Highland of the Highlands. It's actually the distillery itself is so close to the lowlands that it's almost a lowland whiskey, which are kind of known to be triple distilled. Glengoyne is a very hit and miss distillery for me. I have had a healthy amount of them, of the core range. Plus, I have had their teapot dram. And I guess I would kind of put it to you like this. They're 10 years old. I found not very interesting. The 12 I thought was quite good. Right around that $50 price point US. The 15, which is now discontinued, I think is the best of their core range for the most part for price. This one's around 65. The 18, which is around like $120 US, I was not that impressed with. The 21, decent, still not super impressed. That one's around 200, and the 25 is absolutely amazing, but the price has gone through the roof of late. Glengoyne, I think one of the biggest criticisms of their whiskey, they are a sherry-forward distillery for sure. Their whiskeys are kind of thin. It's this thin mouthfeel. Again, close to the lowlands. Maybe it's that lowland influence. Who knows? But their whiskeys tend to be a little bit thinner on the palate. I have no idea what that is. Sorry. Can you give me just 1 second, Shel? People buzzing the door. We'll see if they're coming this way. Anyways, Glengoyne, it's one of these distilleries that, quite frankly, I find to be sort of uneven in terms of my enjoyment of it. The 10, for example, I found to be just kind of no finish, too thin, kind of rough around the edges. The 12, I actually thought fixed a lot of the issues of the 10, and the 15, I think is just great. The 18, I thought not much improvement over the 15. The 21, bottled at 43%, $200. It's good. It's not great. The 25-year-old, which is bottled at 48%, absolutely killer. But I mean, at minimum, it's $400 now, which is unfortunate. I was lucky enough to get one of them when they were a bit cheaper than that. They have a couple of the releases. They have the this new thing called the Legacy series. I did have one of those. Thank you to Donner Pass Whiskey for that. And that was pretty solid. They also have a cask strength non-age statement. And then they have the Teapot Dram, which is a distillery release, which is incredible. But those you got to get overseas. So this 15-year-old, you can see it's the old bottling because, well, they don't actually have this in their lineup anymore. They did recently go through a label change. Here's what it's got to say. Complex, sweet, and rounded, spicy oak finish, taste of distillery. Yeah, they're really prideful on how they distill slower than anybody else. Air-dried barley, non-peated, deep character, they say. So all of their whiskeys are natural color. They stated on here, but they're also chill filtered, which, that is what it is. This is ex-bourbon and ex-sherry. 43%. And the thing I think really always captured me about the 15 is if you've had the 10 or the 12, the 12, very creamy and refined. The 10, kind of rough and edgy. This is like a fusion of both of those things in the best possible way. It's full-bodied. It has some backbone. It has a longer finish. It just is, it's like the sweet spot. And then you get to the 18, I think it's like, it's almost too refined. These, if you still see them, $65, give or take, for a bottle. So I was very excited when I saw this, and I'm really excited to have a sample of it with you all right now. So let's do it. Glengoyne 15. Here's what it looks like in the glass. That is a natural color. And again, let me know in the chat. We got some good ones already. With discontinued whiskeys that you wish distilleries would bring back. We had Glenmore Quintaruban 12. I think there was a Laphroaig 18. I knew I would see that one. That's definitely on my list. Any of those whiskeys out there that you just like, man, these distilleries could put those back out. That would be great. Okay. So here we go with the Glengoyne 15. Beautiful sherry. It's a bit on the drier side. And a little thing I've learned over the years of whiskey tasting. With sherried whiskey, this is particularly helpful with non-age statements, but it also says something about ones with age statements. If you get more dried fruit notes than you get fresh fruit, this is usually a indication that there's, the juice has had some age, because oxidization breaks sherry down from kind of being sweet and cloying to more dry fruit, kind of those Christmas spices. So this, you got a nice sweetness, but lurking right behind it, man, nice kind of dry, almost like Christmas clove mulled wine notes. It has that classic Glengoyne kind of toffee sweetness. Bit of spice, not too much. Again, these are very sweet forward whiskeys with the sherry. But this one just has that little bit of extra gingerbread. It's just a great nose on this whiskey. We'll do another taster, Slunch. And there it is. So this is the thing about this. I know I'm not alone in being one of the folks that think Glengoyne is too light on the palate for my taste. I do like a heavier whiskey. And if you like a light whiskey, a lot of Glengoyne will work for you. But this one, it's the perfect balance. It arrives pretty sweet, pretty light, but then you get a nice surge of cinnamon spice, nutmeg, clove, the dried sherry fruit notes. It goes from kind of sweet to dry. You get a nice surge of this. Again, it's not a huge, heavy, robust whiskey, but it's kind of right in that sweet spot. It's relaxed. It goes into a nice medium long finish. I'm very excited for folks who are part of the Pateron raffle to get a sample of this, because this is a whiskey that I'd go to the mat for anytime. Medium finish, apple. It's a great, like, for the season, for those of us who are in places where seasons exist. Autumnal kind of flavors. Really, really good. I really don't understand for the life of me why they would have discontinued this one. Let's hope it comes back someday. But I think it's been at least 3 or 4 years. They don't put a scan on these. Oh, yes, they do, actually. Yeah, this bottle's from 2016. So that alone tells you, right? I don't think you can find these past 2017. This is from September 9th, 2016. Man, the orchard fruits, I'm telling you, like, it's the apple and then it's these Oloroso notes. But they're dry. They're dry. Maybe one of these days we'll see this one again. It's great. I think the closest thing to this, and this is going to sound crazy maybe, but if you have a choice between picking up a bottle of the Glengoyne 10, the 12, or the 18, I think you go the 12. I think the 12 is the best value-wise out of those three. I really do find the 18 to be a bit too refined. It lacks character. The 10, it's too young. It just doesn't do it. The 12, that's the next best one, in my opinion, on this one. But this 15 is really, really good. I'm trying to think of a whiskey that I can compare this to. It's the bourbon cask and the sherry cask work so well in this. It's like they hit the sweet spot, and then this is the one that they axe from the lineup. What can you do? I do believe well, I shouldn't say this because I might not be right. I do believe these are all ex-bourbon and ex-sherry. So I don't think any of this is I don't think any of these are first fill. But I swear, you go in, it's like the marriage of the bourbon and the sherry here is just perfect. This is a 4 out of 5 whiskey for me, and I'm not embellishing on that. When you take the value into account, the fact that this is still sitting on shelves at $65, I would pay upwards of $75 for this easily. I'm thinking of other whiskeys that 15-year-olds in this range. I'm thinking of like things like the Old Pulteney 15. I think this is much better. It's it's richer. It's more complex. I mean, I'm thinking of also like Glencadam 15. Glencadam 15 would be a good one to do a side-by-side with this. I think Glencadam 15, you're going to get more bitterness. But what I'm telling you basically is that this Glengoyne 15 is great. I'm so excited that I was able to find a bottle. So I'll just remind folks, as I mentioned in the beginning, the next Patreon raffle is up. If you are a Patreon supporter or want to become one, the link is now in the chat. Next week on the show, I will announce the winners. And just like I did last time, there'll be 3 winners that I send samples to. But this time, I've added an extra sample to the list. So the 3rd place winner will get the Scottie Pippen Digits Bourbon. It's good, better than you think. And the Glengoyne 15. 2nd place gets these 2 plus the new Laphroaig Carchis. And 1st place gets Laphroaig Carchis, Digits Bourbon, Glengoyne 15, and a sample of Balvenie 21 years old single barrel. So those are going to be the samples. Like I said, I will announce all of the raffle winners on the happy hour stream next week, probably right around 8:45 Eastern time, so towards the end of the show. So if you're in and a supporter on Patreon by then, you will get thrown in the randomizer, and I will announce the winners. So I do hope for folks who are interested in supporting the show and getting in on some samples, this is your time to do it. So I do appreciate it. This one in particular almost makes it worth it because it is really that good. It's a damn shame that they don't have any more of these. Okay, let me catch up on the chat here a little bit. We got 22 folks in, which is awesome, man. Happy Tasting Tuesday, everybody. I have a bottle of the 15 Glengoyne, but haven't opened it yet. Okay. Well, I hope this is enticing you because it is. Yeah, man. I'm a big fan of this. I wish if they would have had 2 bottles at that spot, I would have bought both of them, and it wouldn't even have been a question. I think this is my favorite Glengoyne outside of the Teapot Dram or the 25. You know, as an everyday drinker, this would be one of the better ones you could get. Jesus booty called out. No, apparently not. Not this time. They did not. They didn't come to my door. I don't know why they were hitting my buzzer. But so it goes. Cohen and Gary are talking rum. Good. Hey, Cody, man, how are you? Great to see you. Northern California. How's it going, man? If folks aren't following Cody at Dram Dude on Insta, you should, man. He's a great photographer, and his photos are all about whiskey. So check him out, man. Great to see you, man. Hope you've been well. Barrel pick. All right. Anybody familiar with the MacIver 17 blended? No, sir. I have not. I wouldn't mind seeing the Old Pulteney 17 again. No, man, you are 100% right. So would I. Also the 21. I'm not sure if you've had that new 18 yet, but boy, that one was a big miss for me. The 15 was okay, but they've taken I'm sorry to say, but it seems like they've taken a turn for the worse. The new 18 I thought was very disappointing. I think Telix and I did a tasting of that. I don't even think it rose above a 2 for me, or a 3. It didn't rise above a 3. It was just, and for, just for folks who know, if you do the 100-point scale, so my Telix and I do a scale that's 1 to 5. An 80 is 3. A 90 is 4, right? A 95 would be like a 4.5. So, if it's a 375. It's, I don't feel like you can ever be so precise with a whiskey, given the fact that it tastes different as you drink a bottle. So, a 3.7 or a 4 would be anywhere from like a 89 to a 92 or whatever. And I don't think the old Pulteney 7 or the old Pulteney 18 rose above a 3 for either of us. It was that disappointing. True that, man. True that. Silverlock endorses the old Pulteney 17. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Hey, beaming his signal from Oahu on the Hawaiian Islands. It's Juan. What's up, man? Cheers, buddy. I know you are a Patreon supporter, and thank you for that. Make sure you catch the beginning of the show if you can't hang around, because I announced what the new raffle picks are going to be, and I will. I'll do that one more time. And there is the link. Thank you, Daniel. There's the link for folks who want to join. Go for it. Dram, dude, I liked the 15 Sad. Going, yeah, me too, man. This is a great whiskey. I'm bummed about, this one missing is one of the worst. And, so on my list of discontinued whiskeys that I would love to have back, Old Pulteney 21 is one of them. Glengoyne 15. I think somebody else mentioned Laphroaig 18. Laphroaig 18 for sure. That's a big loss. I mean, the lore is very good. I think people hated on the lore when it came out, but have since come around. But I do think the 15 is great. The Glengoyne is way better than the Glenfiddich Solera. I have not had that Solera. Would you place it above an indie bottling Douglas Lang Old Particular 15? Probably not. I mean, I'm just looking at that ABV. Probably not, man. Probably not. I'm sure. So it's funny he brings up Donner Pass last week gave me a Glengoyne. I think it was a 19 Old Particular, which was absolutely stellar. So no, probably not. I mean, in indie bottling is, in many cases, you're going to get something really special. Jimmy Leg says if it were 46 or 48, I bet it would improve. Yes, I agree. And I think that's the biggest flaw with their 21. So all of their whiskeys are 43, which, okay. I mean, at least in the U.S. I'm not sure. In the U.K., they might be 40. As you know, you look at things like Highland Park 12, Laphroaig 10. Those are all released at 40% in the U.K., which is criminal. But the Glengoyne 25 is 48, which I think is perfect. It's one of the most perfect whiskeys I've had. Would you like to see this at 46%? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm totally with you there, Jimmy. I remember when nobody could get the OP17 a few years ago at a couple hundred bottles at a decent price. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, good luck finding it now. It's hard. That's a hard one to find. Cash from one, is the Laphroaig lore discontinued? So I've heard some rumors that it might be, but as far as I understand, it is not. I still see it widely all over the place, usually within right around that $100 range, and I would buy it at $100. I know it's an NAS whiskey, but it's worth it. If you've not had it, it's that good. So I'm not sure to the extent about the actual discontinued of this. Maybe it would portend a resurgence of the 18. I don't know if it was being discontinued, but I don't know. I've seen nothing from Laphroaig. I know that their master distiller, John Campbell's leaving. They just announced that this week. But I have not seen anything to indicate that the lore is going by the wayside. And I hope it isn't, because it's a damn good whiskey. One of the better non-age statement whiskeys, if you're willing to pay a little over $100. Oh, man. Going back to this now, the dried honey note, the orange marmalade, and the warm gingerbread note is just fantastic on this. This was their like shining whiskey, in my opinion, of the core range. It's a damn shame they got rid of it. I hope it comes back. The thing about it is it has the spice on the nose, and that's not what you get on the 10 or the 12, really, or even the 18 that much for that matter. It just has that spice. It has that extra backbone. It's a high score, and I know it, but I would say this is a 4 out of 5 whiskey. If you've ever had Compass Box Spice Tree, there are some similarities. The gingerbread note, the nutmeg, the allspice. It's a very relaxed whiskey, but it has backbone, and that's what the 10 had too much of, and the 12 didn't have enough of, and the 18 doesn't have enough of. It's right there. And Jimmy and Peter White chatting, which is awesome. And yeah, there it is. Thank you, Daniel. You can follow, as I was mentioned, if you haven't followed Dram Dude on Instagram, do so. The only Glengoyne I have is a K&L Pick PX Cask at cask strength. That sounds great. You bet, brother. The Highland parking. Jimmy, you're not lying, man. Yeah, I don't know which way they're going. And the group that owns them, did the same thing to Ball Blair. Ball Blair got absolutely ruined, in my opinion, by is it InBev? I don't remember who the name is. The other distillery that they haven't touched yet, and I'm hoping to God that they won't, is Annock. But they own Annock too. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's not. I mean, it's not that much. It's not worth that much, but still, it's a good whiskey. Donner Pass is in the house. What's up, brother? Northern California. The California crew is in the house. Donner Pass, Dram Dude, Gary, Cohen. They are holding down the Golden State. What's up, friends? I'm going to do just a little bit more of this. Don't worry. For those who are in the Patreon, you will be in the running. I will have a sample of this for you. Because I'm telling you, I think, and I'll be very curious for the winners of this. Everybody in the raffle winners is going to get a sample of this Glengoyne 15, and I'm going to be really, really excited and interested to hear what people's thoughts are. Because as you can tell, I'm quite high on this one. 4 out of 5. I mean, it's not okay. I'm thinking about 15-year-old whiskeys, which is a weird age statement. Like it's still young, but it's like a refined version of a 12. And honestly, in a lot of cases, I find 12-year-olds to be a little bit more, they have a little bit more power. They're not the refinedness. It's not adding a lot with a 15, and it doesn't quite do what an 18 does. I'm speaking in broad generalizations, but I would love to hear what folks' favorite 15-year-old single malts are. So like a couple of mine, Ben Romick 15, Glencadam 15, Springbank 15, Glen Scotia 15, Glengoyne 15. That would be like a top 5, maybe. I don't know. Kalila Unpeated's in there, but let me know in the chat. I'd still be interested to hear from folks if you have discontinued bottles that you'd love to see back. We've had a great amount that came in so far. Folks are talking about old Paltneys, 17s, Laphroaig 18s, Quinta Rubens, 12-year-olds, whiskeys that everybody's missing. I hear you. Glengoyne 15 is definitely one of them for me. I just looked, and they do have a 20-year Glengoyne refill hogshead. That might be worth your money right there, buddy. Lots of lore here for $200 in Nova Scotia. Yeah, that's too much. That's way too much. I have not. I remember Diablo. I mean, I had it on my computer back in the day, but I haven't played that. Whiskey Stash is looking stout. Malt Muser says Norbag 1. Cheers, man. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, too. Slanch. Yeah. I'm glad I finally got to display it. I don't know if you were ever a fan in the earlier days, but I didn't have quite a display like I do now. But appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the shout-out. Good to have you. And let us know where you're at, by the way, if you're willing to share your city. I do try to remember folks in the chat cities so I can give people shout out. So if I haven't shout out your city when I called on you initially, let me know where you're at and I will show some love. Did you remember the Glengoyne 15 being that memorable? I don't remember it being that memorable. I know Sergey liked it way more than the 18. Yeah. I think Peter, that's a good point. I mean, do I think this is like a earth-shattering whiskey? No, but I think for if you like Glengoyne style and you agree that like one of the things that's been missing is that it's just too damn light, I think this is the best one. I think it's a really nice, affordable. I mean, this was at $65 and still is if you find it on the shelf. Nice, affordable, ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, well-matured whiskey. And I think that's what really brings it home. If it was more expensive, I'd probably drop the score a little bit, 375. But I really think this is the best of their range outside the 25 for the price. If you poured me a 21 next to this, I'd say the 21. But the 21 is like 4 times more than this. And I don't think it rises to the occasion. It's a great point there, Peter. I see you have some Blair on hand. I do, yes. I have a 90, 99, 03, 05, and an 05 single cask. And then I have behind it, there's a 21-year-old Gordon MacPhail. Yeah, I miss the old Ball Blair days. Those new ones, I can't mess with them. Just got off work till the 11th, going to Tahoe. My man. Donner Paz is going to be living up the high life, dude. Hit those slopes for us, man. That's awesome. Enjoy. Whiskey Lover Society, beaming his signal all the way from Belgium. I will be over on your side of the pond in a couple weeks. I'm going to Paris in mid-October. Not too far from you. Cheers, man. Thanks for hanging out on the late night over in Belgium. Oh, you got the bourbon. I have a bottle of their 4-grain cask strength. I have not had their bourbon, but I've been seeing increasingly people finding it really, really good. Hello, Belgium, indeed. Oh, we're going to have a California war in the chat, y'all. Gary saying Laphroaig 18. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Highland Park Dark Origins is one I'd like to see come back, says Daniel. Yes, agreed. That's a really good one. Oh, here we go, man. Dodgers Giants about to have a fight in the chat. Yeah, Dark Origins, definitely, man. A lot of votes for the Dark Origins now. Yeah, Laphroaig 18, definitely. Yeah, you guys are nailing it, man. Buy it. That's, yeah. Email me, Cohen. I'll buy it. Damn, that's a good price. I wouldn't mind seeing more Bowmore Tempest either. It was the only good thing they've ever made in a while. I never had that one. And, not being a huge Bowmore guy, I do have one bottle of Bowmore, which I'm going to open one of these days. And I got it at a good deal. But this is the Bowmore that I have. Well, I have 2. I have this one. This is the Bowmore. This is from the Vintners Trilogy, 18-year-old Manzanilla cask, 52.5, which excites me. I also have an independent bottling from Boutique Whiskey Company of their 15, which I really enjoyed. Right. Does non-chill filtered Glendronach count as discontinued? Yes, it does. It does. It definitely does. James Chang, he's also in SoCal. Okay, so we got two folks in SoCal. We got Gary, the Dram Dude in Donner Pass in Northern California. And then we got LA in the house, Cohen and James. I'm in the place where the Rams, the Dodgers, and the Lakers rule. Oh, don't forget your Anaheim Angels. And what about the Cavs? The Clippers. True. What's the ABV on that Gordon McPhail Wilbur? 43. I will tell you, it still shines even at the 43. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm a Brewers fan, so y'all have your Cali fights, but we'll be coming to town soon. Whiskey Lovers says the Moray 18 is very good. I've not had that one. I've had the 15 and the 12. Both I found were a little underwhelming. Yeah, true that. Definitely. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time, and then we'll keep going because I think I'm going to pour a sample here. But just to remind folks, as I mentioned in the description and earlier in the show, it's Patreon supporter raffle time. If you are a Patreon supporter by this time next week, link is in the chat, you will be entered automatically in the raffle. And I am doing sample shares, which I do for everybody, as I did last time, but I'm adding an extra one on this time. So third place gets 2 samples instead of 1. If you get the third place pick in the Patreon next week, you will get Digits Bourbon, the Scottie Pippen Bourbon, quite good, and the Discontinued Glengoyne 15. If you get second place, you get these 2 plus a sample of the brand new Laphroaig Carchis 2021 Pedro Jimenez Cask Strength. And for the first place winner this time, you'll get all 3 of those plus a sample of the Balvenie 21-year-old single barrel. So those are going to be the Patreon raffles for this round. Again, I want to thank everybody for the support. It's super appreciated, whether you've done Patreon super chats or just hit that thumbs up while you've been watching the show, man. It's been great. We finally hit that 1,000 sub mark, which is awesome. And I do look forward to announcing those winners right around this time next week. So folks got a chance to jump into the join on Patreon. And once you do, you will be automatically entered to win those samples. And if you're in the top 3, they'll be sent in the mail from me to you. Just a token of gratitude, because I believe it's Aquavite that says whiskey's not whiskey till it's shared. And Alan, the whiskey friend, another good friend of ours on YouTube, says the pleasure's in the sharing. It's absolutely true. I am very excited to share both the Digits Bourbon and, well, quite frankly, all of these whiskeys with y'all. So for those who are willing to chip in and support the show, this is what you have coming your way. So I'm looking forward to it. I am going to switch gears here, though, on the Glengoyne, and I think I have another sample that I'm going to open up here tonight and enjoy with everybody. And this is also coming from Donner Pass Whiskey. So Sláinte Donner Pass Whiskey for this. This is a Glenmore 13-year-old Madeira cask, 46.3% non-chill filtered natural color. Talk about a distillery that I've not explored much at all, is this one. So I'm going to pour this into the glass. I'm going to let this get a little bit of oxygen. And we'll keep going from there. I see we got 26 folks in, which is awesome, man. Awesome, dude. Yeah. Let me know what you think. It's probably been a minute since you've had it. Thank you. Yeah. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to get these samples out to folks, man. It's going to be fun. I can't believe how fast the price shot up on Glengoyne 21. Trooper Henry. My man, where are you sending this signal from, brother? Where are you at? Are you out in the Gulf on the rig, or are you shoreside, man? Great to have Trooper Henry in the house each and every time. Fantastic. And I agree with you. That Glengoyne 21 used to be like $150, and it was like, okay, now, man, it's the Glengoyne 25 too, bro. It's through the roof. Through the roof. Alan is a great share. Absolutely, man. Great dude. 100% agree. And I've never really messed with Glenmore too, but look who's in the house beaming his signal from somewhere in the southwest desert of the United States with the super chat. It's Vegas Art, man, my man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Very, very cool. Thank you for the super chat. And it's great to have you in the house. Vegas Art's been good friend of the show for quite some time, and it's super good to see you in the chat, man. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. OB. Yeah, Glenmore is not a distillery that I've messed with much, mostly because I'll be honest, I see their label, and I've always thought it was just like bottom shelf stuff. But what Donner Pass has sent me here is an independent bottling, and he swears by it, so we're going to check it out. James Chang, glad to hear your time is shared. Safe partner. Partner from the law firm I work at was lucky to have his newly built home in Northwest Lake Tahoe unharmed by the fire. Yeah, seriously, man. That's great. Oh, it looks like a Trooper stateside. Yes, I'm going to break my Glengoyne 15 as well. It's been too long. Nice, dude. Do it. You won't be upset. It is that good. It is that good of a whiskey, in my opinion. Hello from Poland. Glengoyne 15 is solid. I hope I pronounced your name right. Badijo Krakowski. Great to have you, man. I will raise a glass of Glengoyne 15 to you from Chicago, Illinois in the United States, man. Awesome to have you in the chat. Welcome. We have a couple folks, at least on your landmass over here. We got some folks in Belgium and the UK. Well, UK technically ain't your landmass, but it's over there. Great to have you, man. Awesome. Hope all is well in Poland. It must be, what, 2 in the morning for you? Hope you're having a great night. Sláinte, man. Thank you. Dude, you speak truth, man. I remember those days. I remember them well. Yes, he is in Smoke Wagon country. Indeed. Would be interested if you see any of those out your way, Vegas. I have, luckily, I have a couple bottles of the, and I think next week might be the week I crack one of those open here on the live show. Some of the barrel proof uncut Smoke Wagon. I have 3 different bottles of it. I really show them. We get them quite frequently here in Chicago, which is awesome. Gonna pour the SMWS single cask Laphroaig 10. Go for it, man. At Malt Muser, that one is a distillery bottling, but it is Warehouse 1 UK only release. Okay, so this is the Glenmore. Yeah, man. Cheers, man. Badijo in Poland. That Glengoyne 15 is for you, my friend. Thank you for the support. Great to have you with us here in the chat. And we got 26 folks in, which is awesome. Late indeed. 3 a.m. You guys are killers. You're not getting past my brewers. We'll see about that. All right, y'all. Okay. Let me get my bearings here. So as I just mentioned, this is a sample that was sent on over generously by Donner Pass Whiskey. And again, Donner Pass, thank you so much. He's a Patreon supporter, so you will be in the raffle for those samples, which I've mentioned, I think, a couple times. And we'll do it one more time before we close down tonight. But what do we have here? And I'd love to hear in the chat if anybody has had any independent bottling Glenmores. But what we got here is a Glenmore 13-year-old Madeira cask full maturation. 46.3%, like a Buna. Non-chill, natural color. So the thing about Glenmore, and yeah, you know, this is one of those distilleries that honestly, their presentation always kind of threw me off because it looked like, quite frankly, just like a bottom shelf single malt. And I you know, I just never kind of gravitated towards it. I was always impressed by how many different finished bottlings they released. My God, they had a lot of finished bottlings. They remind me of like Deanston, you know, where like if you want something, I mean, they got something out that's finished in there. Tomatin's another one. They got just a ton of them, man. Just finished in anything. And so Glenmore always seemed like they were, you know, one of those 40%ers that released a bunch of different bottlings that, you know, finished in this, that, or whatever. But this one, independent bottling. And Glenmore is a space cider, if I'm not mistaken. Again, take the region stuff with a grain of salt. What it actually means, it's more of a marketing thing than anything, from what I understand. But I'm quite eager to get into this. And again, Donner Pass, thank you so much for this sample. Uh-oh. Dude, Cohen, I don't want to... I hate what's going on right now because you remember when this happened last time, right? Where suddenly they just surge and kill everybody and then win. That's what I fear what's going to happen. Just got the Halloween edition smoke wagon a few days ago at Mission. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. The smoke wagon's plentiful. Had some smoke wagon UCF the other day. Awesome stuff. You got a Benny's pick? Yeah, I got a couple of those probably. I think I'm going to do that next week. Not had any Glenmore so far. So, yeah, this is kind of uncharted water. I'm not sure what to expect with this. I mean, this is not your standard release bottle, but 46.3% independent bottling. Madeira finished at 13 years old. Sounds great. Non-chill natural. Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. The dark red grapes. Lavender, floral notes. Almost like purple grape soda. There's my man. There's my man talking truth. Where is he? Jimmy Lack. You know what's up. Yeah, buddy. Wow. Lavender, florals, sweet red fruit. It has a nice backbone of some cinnamon spice too. Then this is all Madeira cask. Not one of my favorites in terms of sherries. But boy, it's got a nice smell. It doesn't have that apple orchard and spiciness. I don't know if this isn't the Highland, right? Glenmore. It smells damn good. Man. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Donner Pass. I get it. Nice, sharp grape, red fruits, cranberry, raspberry, raisin, dry finish. Nice, like cedar wood almost. Look who's here. It's Throttle. I don't know. Am I? I'll take it. You talking about the goat, man? Elegant class, good sherry cask finish. Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. you know how we do it, right? Oh, it's like what would Food Quick say? It's like dirty socks, but in a good way. Best way possible. No, it has some of that kind of cloying Welch's grape jam. But it has okay, 2 words for this. It would be fruit and oak. It's like a fresh cut oak. I'm not talking like a heavily charred oak. Really nice. Again, this is an independent bottling of Glenmore, 13 years Madeira cask. Thank you, Donner Pass Whiskey, for this sample. It's not as cloying as a lot of your sherries, or even a lot of Madeiras that I've had. Donner Pass. Most people don't try Glenmore because until you get to the 18, it's all 40% chill filter color. The 18 that's great. Under 100. Yeah, I'm following you on this, man. Whiskey lovers in Belgium, says Space Cider. Agreed. Holy Shore. Oh, God. I'm not so sure about that whiskey throttle. In fact, you want to know something funny about Pauly Shore? I got a friend who lives in Silver Lake, LA, and he periodically runs into Pauly Shore at his local coffee shop. I can tell that if that was your case, you'd be wetting your pantaloons. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I don't know about that. I'm not sure this is what it's good. The thing about it that I find it so fascinating is it's such it's not cloying. It's such a very clean grape note. Raspberry. I like it quite a bit. Jimmy Lake says, do you like the Nectar Door? You're talking, that's the Sauternes Glenmorangie. Well, I love me some Glenmorangie. Some folks find that an unpopular opinion. Glenmorangie is in my top 5 distillers. And I have had the non-age statement version, and I liked it. I have an age statement version, the 12-year-old. I have not opened it yet. I like it. I would say it's probably in my top 5 Glenmorangies that I've had. I think the best thing that they've put out, honestly, is going to sound crazy, is the Malaga cask, which was last year. I think the Malaga cask is the best Glenmorangie I've had. Okay. Let me take that back. Second best outside the Signet, because the Signet is, anybody who hates on the Signet has a problem with himself. Because that's unless you absolutely hate coffee and chocolate, the Signet is a work of art. But I think where Glenmorangie really shines, because they have such a barley forward and sweet kind of honey distillate, that the sherry cask finishes that they do, I mean, they're one of the best in the game at finishing. I mean, I think they might have even been the pioneers of the finishing. There's so many good ones. There are also a few that are like, Try the Spios, which is the rye cask, the rye barrel finish. Great whiskey. I like some of the private releases. I have some older ones. I mean, I don't even know if you can even see this, but I have a bunch of old releases: Portwood, Sherry, Burgundy, Madeira, 18, 15, and 10. And then there's a bunch behind there of like, some of the more common releases. I think the oldest, most interesting one I have is the Campanta, which is one of the private releases. I love Glenmore. They've had a few that missed, but they've had a few that are really, really good. I think the Signet it's annoying that it's a non-age statement, because if you do any research, it's mostly older stuff. But it would be nice if they did. I have an 18 and a 19-year-old Glenmorangie that I really like. I've not had anything older than that because they're just so damn expensive. But for an everyday sipper, come on, man. Quinta Rubin is great. The 12, probably a little better than the 14. The La Santa is great. Their 10 is a good mixer. Comes in at 40. The 10 is 43% here in the U.S. I know it's 40% in the U.K., which is unfortunate. Great mixer if you want to make scotch cocktails, Godfathers, even a Rob Roy for that matter. I really, really like the the Malaga cast that they did last year was fucking awesome. And it shows just how good their whiskey is if you just amp up the ABV a little bit. It's really what it needed. I found it in California, I believe, for folks who were watching around this time last year. When I was beaming my signal from Los Angeles for a while, I found that Malaga cast randomly on a shelf there. And I was blown away. I killed the whole bottle while I was out there. I was there for 6 weeks, I think. I drank the whole bottle out there. I have a backup. Nothing can mess with the Signet, though. The Signet is just... You can still find it for under $200, which I think is stupid. But I don't know how long that's going to last. I still see a lot of places that are over that for the Signet. But it's a very particular whiskey. And so, all I can say is I caution folks to know what you're walking into. The barley it's like a chocolate malted barley. So you are getting a very decadent creme brulee, dark chocolate, fig. What's the word I was going to mention that I just totally spaced on? Again, espresso kind of thing. That's what you're getting out of the Signet. And don't be afraid by the non-age statement. It's one of those whiskeys where the non-age statement is... It's probably because they put a little young stuff in, but I'm telling you, there's older stuff in there for sure. It's a decadent whiskey, but you have to be going into it liking that flavor profile. Because if you don't, you're not going to get everything out of it. And you're better off sticking with some of their, their regular 18 or, some of their sherry stuff. A couple of Glenmorangies that I didn't find all that impressive, just to share. The 15 Cadbull Estate, which is their local barley kind of thing, is fine, but nothing spectacular. You can kind of take or leave that one. That one I would probably walk away from because it's $80, $90. The Tale of Cake, it was okay. Interesting, not worth the money. But Glenmorangie stays at a really good price for the most part. They age statement most of their stuff. It's usually above 40% ABV. And they're fucking great at finishing things. So, it's a delicate whiskey. It's a light whiskey, but everybody needs that sometime, I think. Anyways, this Madeira Cask Glenmore, it's definitely got me thinking about looking for independent bottled Glenmores. This is quite good. Drier, cedar wood. It's sharper. It doesn't have a ton of weight, but good. On the nose, at first, you think it's going to be just overwhelmed by the Madeira cask, but it's not. The distillate actually comes through quite nice here. This is a nice bottling. Let me try to catch up on the chat here a little bit. We got 23 folks in. Oh, wait. Okay. Let me get back. I'm not crazy. The Malaga is great. Okay. Thank you. It is great, isn't it? All right. I'm glad to hear it. Hello, Whiskey Throttle. It is great to have you in the house. Yeah. Good to know. I like Glenmore, but Nectar Door is way too sweet. I'm just trying to peg your palate. Oh, sure. I mean, it's... Okay, so I like a nice balance of sweet and bitter as a general rule. However, any given day, I can feel any given way about any whiskey, you know? Like, I like a lot of the Cavallans. I have a decent amount of Cavallans. Those have no bitterness at all. I'm trying to think of any whiskeys that I don't. I mean, you know, there's definitely a list of things I wasn't impressed with. Usually I like a fuller flavor. If there's one thing I can peg for my palate, it's a fuller flavor. So things like Aberlour outside of the Abuna, no. Glenfarclas, no. They're too light. They lack depth. They lack complexity. I can pretty much follow a whiskey on its journey as long as it's got some weight to it, as long as it's got some heft to it. That's probably the best thing I can peg down. I do enjoy a little bit of bitterness or a little bit of funk to them, but that's not that's not like a barometer that I measure everything by. Ralph, he liked the Malanga. Oh, did he? Oh, that's good to know. I have to check that out. Dude, Cohen, you're right. I have not seen it. So the Malacca cask was part of what's called it was a small batch release, small or barrel reserve release, which are these like slightly higher ABV Glenmorangies. And the first one was the Malaga, and they have this new one called it's the 13 Cognac, but it's not out. I haven't seen it here in Chicago yet. But I'm going to try it for sure. I had the Glenmoe 27 1991 Grand Vintage. That's the best Glenmoe I can imagine. I can only imagine. Has anyone seen the new Glenmorangie 18? No, I didn't know. Aaron Hardiman, what's up, brother? Been looking for the 13 Cognac. Me too, man. I haven't seen it here yet in Chicago. Agreed. Someone tell you the Cognac was meh. Ooh. That sounds good. There are still a few places you can find it around 175 US, but it's around, I would say average price $200 US. Oh, I haven't even seen the online thing yet. I have to. Yeah, DC, man. You got to love Washington, DC for that. Wow. Only 130 pounds in the UK. That's awesome. I remember your lager review. I got 2. Oh, man. That's awesome. Dude, I was so high on that Malaga. Yeah, because I was out in LA. Yeah. Oh, I bought another bottle. That stuff is so damn good. I mean, just a rich, decadent sherry whiskey. I was excited to see that Tomatin started making chocolate malt spirit like Signet. Hopefully they'll put it on the shelf for a lower price than the Signet. That I did not know. That's good to know. Better late than never from the Atlanta, Georgia suburbs. It's IC86. What's up, brother? Yeah, that's about right. That Signet is $159. Need to pick. Yeah, the $159 is a great price. Great price. I got Glenmore Day after your recommendation. This is really good. Need to find another bottle. Dude, isn't it? It's fucking great. I mean, it's with mixed berry jam with a nice honey malty backbone. God, what a good whiskey. I'm so glad I was able to find another bottle of that. Nope, Telix is not around tonight. He's out on vacation. See, Madeira. I've been looking for an Edredor single cask Madeira for you, and I've yet to find one, buddy. You asked a while back, but I still haven't seen one. Hang on. I think I have one. Yeah, I do. I actually have one. 12-year-old. This is Madeira, 61.3%. It's from Specs, Texas, so probably not far from you. Single cask. Much later than I thought. I haven't opened this yet, though. Maybe I should right now. How about we just, for shits and giggles, pour a little bit of this Madeira cask 12-year-old Edredor. One moment. Give me yeah. I'll be right back. I need to get some water and do a quick phone check, and I'll be right back, and we will we'll do a little comparison. Hey, y'all. Okay, so I'm cracking an Edredor Madeira cask. Throw that in the old glass there. Why not? All right, we'll let that open up a bit. I want a Glenmore G10 cask drink, non-chill, filtered natural. I see they did it as a special edition over the years. I needed a core range bottle like that. I'm with you on that. 150 pounds or euros by in Belgium. Good to know. Yes, Caledonia is great. I have a decent amount of Edredor, mostly in Balkans, mostly just kind of like indie bottlings. But yeah, I've had the Caledonia. That's quite good. Just popped in the YouTube feed. Interest. I thought, hey man, Joe Tao, how are you? Great to have you. Am I in a time warp? Glengoyne 15 purchased about 3. I haven't found any since then. And twice in a week I heard it mentioned. No, I wish that was the case, but I wish it was the case. It's not. I found a bottle of it. This is my second bottling that I've had of it. I found it randomly about 2 or 3 weeks ago here in Chicago. And that's, yeah, I had to open it up. I'm including it in a raffle for my Patreon supporters next week. But yeah, that's what that's from. Yeah, I love the Glengoyne 15. Good to have you in the house. Molasses is here. Don't often get to join these lives. Glad I've been able to catch you. Hey, man, great to see you, Molasses. Awesome to have you in the house. Always good. Best Malaga whiskey I've had is definitely the Yellow Spot. That's a fair point. I have the one he's like, oh, so this is the exact one. Okay, so this Glenmore 13, 46%, really, really good. Madeira cask. This is a Madeira cask. Look how much lighter Madeira shows up. This is a Edradour Madeira cask, single cask. So it's non-chill natural, 61.3. Oh, wow. We're doing it. We're doing it. Madeira is so interesting, man. It's sweet, but it doesn't have as much of that heavy fruit that you'd expect from a sherry. Particularly, I'm thinking about things like PX or Oloroso, for that matter. It's much more like sauternes. The sweetness, but it's more like yellow fruits. It's what I'm getting. This is the Edradour, which I apparently just opened. So I'm going to give it a taste. Again, it's just dominated by sweet honey. It's like a Dalwhinnie at 65% ABV. But then it has this nice pear, tropical fruit note, and Edradour. Come on up, buddy. Winston the Whiskey Cat's in the house. Oh, wow, that's good. Ooh-wee. Let's see which one he prefers. This is the Edradour. Nope. This is the Glenmore. Well, you got to pick one. Punk. You don't like either of them. He doesn't seem to like any whiskey that I pour. You're not a great whiskey cat. This Edradour is heavy, full flavor. It has much more of a bourbon quality to it than I expected. Again, 12 years old. Yeah, Madeira is strange. To be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards the Glenmore right now. Yeah, I mean, you can never go wrong with an Edradour. That's for sure. Okay, I'm going to do one last announcement just for folks who are just joining. So we got 18 folks in, 19 folks in, which is awesome. So periodically, usually twice a year, for folks who are supporters on Patreon, I do a sample raffle. The link is now in the chat. This one I will announce right around, about 8:45 Eastern next week. So you have a week to join, but joining now is even better. Anybody who is on the Patreon list will have a chance to win first, second, or third place. Third place will be getting a sample of the Glengoyne 15 and the Scottie Pippen Digits Bourbon. Second place will get those two plus the new Laphroaig Cartridge Cask Strength PX. And first place will get those three plus a sample of the Balvenie 21 single barrel. So I got a nice amount of samples set up. Again, appreciate you all for the support. If you want to become a Patreon supporter, among other things, it gets you early access to not only being part of Whiskey Raffles, but it also I will get you or you get early access to all of my whiskey reviews, and there'll be some other fun content coming up soon, which is going to be great. So feel free to join if you are interested. Still need to crack my Edradour 12 Caledonia down to a heel with the single cask. Yeah, those Hibiscus are amazing. The Caledonia is not quite up to that level, but for a standard release at $75, it's fucking awesome. Great stuff. Yeah, it's worth it. Trooper just can't buy this. Just came back from Specs in Dallas, picked up the Laphroaig 10 Sherry Cask, Glengoyne 10 Batch 2. Nice haul, brother. Those are some good picks. Where the heck did I find that bottle? This must have been something I got in. I don't even know. This isn't even a UK release. I must have got this on secondary market. This is bottled in 2020. Yeah. Couldn't tell you, man. It came from somewhere. Somebody sent it to me. Yes, Winston, I know. Okay. This cat. If you like Caledonia, we'll get along to eat. Dude, yeah. You're in the right place. I love me some Caledonia. Great stuff. Very much so, man. Molasses. Shout out to Winston. You're getting shout outs, Winston. Say hello. Winston the whiskey cat. He's got the floofy tail and the floofy fur, and he's kind of got an attitude right now. There you go. What are you doing? You're going to like what that bottle turns into. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I hope not. I can't endorse any of those. I've done my Malort. The old pile. No, man. I don't know what's going on with that. And I've not explored few enough, but their gin is okay. Yes, that's correct. Donner Pest, I think you wrote it right on here, which is nice. That's not the right one. Hang on. Yep. 13 years, full Madeira, 46.3 non-chill natural. It's old particular, and it's quite good. I might have been me. Yeah. Yeah, don't forget Koval. I will say this. I mean, I've not explored. I've only been in Chicago for a few months. I've not explored a lot of the distilleries yet. I have done more of the breweries, and there's a lot of great beer in this town. A lot of it. But few is up in Evanston, which is a suburb just north of Chicago. I think Koval is in Chicago proper. All right, I'm going to go back to this Edredor. And, honestly, I need to put a little bit of water on this. But noses are very, very similar. They both just have this really nice, again, it's like a grape quality. It's a much cleaner, less cloying fruit quality. And a lot of honey, almost like almond nougat coming through. Yeah, man. Goose Island for sure. Revolution Brewing. Yeah, I love Goose Island. Whiskey Acres. There you go. All right, we're going back in with this Edredor. Oh, that's good. Really, really good. Spicy oak wood, but then also just these incredibly juicy fruits. Wow. Okay, the Edredor has taken a few steps forward. It's like a strawberry starburst with cinnamon and oak spice. Very heavy. All right, I'm going to go back to the Glenmore here. Both of these, for the record, I like exponentially more than I liked the Laphroaig Carchis 2016 Madeira, which I thought was kind of a dud. Both are very good. Dude, yeah. This Edgedoor is incredible. This Glenmore is also, and Donner Pass, if you're still in the house, I would love to hear what is a bottle of this Glenmore cost you? Because this is damn good. Gary's heading out. Gary, great to see you, man. Take good care. Always great to have you in the house. Have yourself a nice week. I'll catch you next Tuesday. Yeah, Gary's good people. Madeira is not one of the things that I go for very often, but it's nice to revisit things. Sometimes you have an experience with a distillery or a finish or a maturation or a style that it just doesn't hit you the right way. And you find yourself, not going back to it for a while. This was my case with Aberlour. I had the Aberlour 16 very early in my journey. I think it was an incredible disappointment. I don't think I bought an Aberlour for 4 years, until I got an Abuna, and then I was like, oh yeah, Abuna was really good. It's a little too sherried, if that makes any sense. It's a little like only sherry, but it was really good. It's nice to go back and be surprised. Unfortunately, I've had some experiences with distilleries that I haven't been I've still been underwhelmed with. Glenfarclas is a great example. Do you still have Madeira, Dawn, and Dusk from Balcones I sent you? It's possible. I can't look right now. It's very possible. I can let you know. I gotta look. Silver Lock's hopping off. Take care, man. Great to have you. Thank you so much for stopping through. Rarely see Madeira or Marsala finishes. Yeah, neither do I. Marsala, it's even rarer still, right? I mean, if you do, you see it in these like Fischl bottlings from Bunnahabhain or something, and it's like, I'm not going to spend $400 for a 8-year-old whiskey I'm sure it's good, but it's not worth, it's not completely worth splurging on just for the cask. Yeah, I don't know if I did those either, man. It's been a minute. I can tell you, though, this detour that the show has taken into trying Madeira cask whiskeys, I'm quite impressed. Yeah. At least I think that one's 43, right? The 16 is 40. Aberlour is not my jam. Palo Cortado, I have not had one. I almost bought a Bunnahabhain that was Palo Cortado, but I have not had one. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what that's supposed to taste like or what a good or bad version is. And yeah, you don't see it very often, if ever. I recently got a whiskey. I recently got this. And this is, for a whiskey, really off the deep end. This is used to be called Milk and Honey. They're from Israel. It's a single malt. It's called M&H now. This is part of their Apex series. This is literally has a finish in Chardonnay, white wine. I mean, that's, talk about something like off the wall. I mean, you don't see that hardly ever. But, yeah, it's just one of these things, you don't. Marsalas, I'm thinking of distilleries I see Marsala finishes from. Bunnahabhain, I'm sure Glenallachie's got one. I'm sure Glenmore and Tomatin have one, but they're all like low level. You just don't see those a lot. Deanston is probably another one that comes to mind for a Marsala. But I mean, God, yeah, Palo Cortado, if that's even how you pronounce it, I don't even know. Yeah, there you go. How many boxes of samples do you have between Donner Pass, Andrew, and myself, and Mosby? Oh, and Foodquig. And Telex and Tony from King of Prussia. I easily have 100 samples that I've not even opened yet. Well, okay, that might be too far. At least 75. There's 4. So I have a windowsill over here that's all covered in samples. I have 1, 2, 3 boxes on there. Some of those are my samples and of stuff I've just saved for tastings later. And yeah, there's a lot. It's a good thing to have, man. I appreciate it. He shuffled them, that's for sure. Oh, that's a good price. Decent, okay. Peter White's got a Chardonnay finished. Long Row 17. Jesus, Peter. Man, bro. It does. Yeah, it does. It does. I try to, when people send samples, I try to do them here on the live show. But, you can, especially when I was doing the show with Telex every week, which we're no longer doing. You can only do so many. Manzanilla finishes are rare too. Yeah. I only have a couple Manzanillas. So I think I have a Cavalan Manzanilla, I have a Bunnahabhain Manzanilla, and then I have that Bowmore. That very almondy kind of apricot. Manzanilla is interesting because oh God, I'm gonna forget how they do it, but it sits atop the actual yeast, so the yeast kind of is like a barrier on top of it, and kind of imparts them with there. Is yeast the right thing? What am I saying? Or I'm my God, the mash, not the yeast, the mash. It sits atop the actual wine, and so it's kind of imparting a funky flavor to it. I know that's the case with Manzanilla. I believe Fino might be similar. Yeah, so it has a little bit of its own production style. I am not a wine aficionado, but I know that I think Manzanilla, Fino, there might be another. Sauternes might be the similar. It has to do with the grapes, obviously, first and foremost, but. Yeah, you're gonna have to really. Whiskey World or Nichols and Perks, maybe. I have Bunnahabhain Manzanilla, which I really, really like. But yeah, they're few and far between. You don't see a lot of the Isla whiskeys, particularly branching out and doing a lot of those outside Fischio releases. You'd like to see a little bit more of that, maybe. Yeah. Older, but not as dry as Fino. Oh, you're talking about Manzanilla. Yeah. I mean, if you looked at it on a spectrum, Fino, dry, sweet. Oloroso, all on the other side, rich, heavy, spicier. For sure. M.O. Muser. So what you're referring to in Fino or Manzanilla or Amontillado? Amontillado is in the middle. Amontillado is like the half. Yeah, Florida East. Yeah. Yes. He's right. Manzanilla. Yes, he's absolutely right. That's what it is. It is yeast. Thank you, James. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, and in terms of the profile, Amontillado is kind of the if you wanted an in between Oloroso and Fino, that's what you would get. Is Amontillado, which is great. Okay, y'all. So I am going to get ready to sign off. It has been a wonderful Tasty Tuesday happy hour. Again, I appreciate everybody. And again, hop on and join a Patreon if you want to be in the whiskey sample raffle. I will announce the 3 winners next week around 8:45 Eastern time on the US. So hope to see everybody next week. I'll have another bottle to chat about then. And it might end up being the Cedrador because, well, I didn't plan to open this tonight, but it's gotten really, really interesting. So hope everybody stays safe. Be well. Again, smash that thumbs up on your way out. If you can, it would be most appreciated. I will have a review dropping Friday of the Glencaddam 13 Reawakening, which is a really fantastic dram. If you've not had it yet or don't know much about Glencaddam, it'll be a good one to try. And until then, I wish everybody well, man. Cheers.